5 simple charms for home protection and prosperity if you are a witch. It doesn't matter what level or what path you necessarily are on. Hi everyone, my name is Ella and I'm going to be showing you 5 different charms from things you probably have lying either around your house already or things that you can pretty easily get access to, I would dare say. So as I already said, you don't have to be advanced. This is very beginner friendly. These are 5 different folk charms. Now I'm a German folk witch, so you will see that these have a little bit of that sprinkled into them. However, you do not have to be a German folk witch if you want to try these out. They are rather universal. And the first one I'm going to be starting with is the Hagstone charm. Now this one is a very popular charm, especially if you want to ward against nightmares, and it is general protection. So if you want to hang this on your wall, for example, or near your bedside table, you could place this near your altar for extra protection, or you could even wear it around your neck if you wanted to. This one is a common one that you will see. I know that it is popular in a lot of places. England, for example. Germany uses a lot of hagstones. All you need is a hagstone and red thread. Now, a hagstone, what even is that? It's usually just a little rock that you find, for example, at the river or near the seaside or ocean, and it's a rock with a natural hole in it. Now there's a lot of lore surrounding them depending on region and culture. Some cultures associate them with fairies, some people associate them more with witchcraft and witches. In any case, usually they're supposed to be protective of some kind, and that is what we're using it for here as well. Now all you're really going to have to do is take your hagstone. Now I like to wash mine off and cleanse it. It depends on how you want to cleanse it. If you want, you can just leave it sitting in a bowl of salt for overnight. You can also cleanse it in any other technique that you prefer. And then we're going to take the red thread, and this red thread is once again a symbol of protection. Red thread is associated with life, it's associated with the essence of life, obviously with blood, and it's also going to act as protector. Now if you wanted to, you could add a tag lock into that red thread, because we're going to be braiding it, and whenever you braid anything, you're weaving together your intention into that red thread. And of course a tag lock, such as a little bit of your hair, could be easily woven into this to make it a little bit more personal. Now I like to just do a very simple 3-strand braid, and as soon as you've done that, you just simply slip that through the hagstone hole, and there you have it. That's your first charm for protection. Once again, specifically great for warding against nightmares if you struggle with that. And it is also really nice to just have as general protective charm in your spiritual places. I consider it to be a little bit more of a spiritual protector, and so I like to have it in places where I would be spiritually active. That is, for example, my bed, or of course my altar. Now every once in a while I like to actually just take that and blow on it. Your breath holds a lot of magic, and it holds a lot of your own personal energy, and I consider it cleansing. And so I, every once in a while, especially if I've just had like a nightmare and a nightmare came through, to me that is a sign that the hagstone needs to have a little bit of a cleansing, and so I just blow on it and then it's good to go again. The next one is going to be for prosperity. Now this is one that a lot of homes already have, especially in Germany. I've gone to so many houses in Germany and everyone just has this, and that is the horseshoe. Now the horseshoe has some really interesting folklore around it. Not only is it made out of iron traditionally, you have a lot of associations with iron, and especially iron warding against witches, against the fae. Iron has always been really a kind of warding metal. Now with the horseshoe it also has 8 holes, but only 7 are used. I believe it's that way. And that's again a lucky number. It also was considered a magical metal because people back in the day couldn't really understand why a hot horseshoe that goes onto the horse's hoof doesn't make the horse squirm, and they didn't realize obviously the science behind it back then, but again, it's just kind of associated with that magic. So it's kind of considered to ward off witches, and it is kind of considered protective as well. But in Germany specifically, and I believe this is pretty common all around the world, is going to be prosperity. The horseshoe is going to collect luck and good fortunes for you, and it is traditionally hung above your door. Now, usually in front of or at the top of your house door of your home, the main door, but I have mine actually hanging above my altar. I like to just have everything here in my altar space. So this is one of those really common ones. Now, you can do a lot with this. You can actually work with this horseshoe if you wanted to. I just have it hanging there for the moment, but you want it to look upright. By upright, I mean it has to do that U shape. So a horseshoe that looks upwards, it kind of looks like a pot, and that's how all the gold is going to be collected into the horseshoe. And then if it flips upside down, it's actually bad luck, because that means that all the fortune is going to tumble out. So it's really important to make sure that your horseshoe is facing upwards when you hang it. Now, I just like to tie some thread into those two holes and then just hang it up like that, because obviously it lends itself very easily to just hammer a wall and a nail in and just hang it, but then it hangs downwards, and you do not want that. So make sure that you're hanging it upright. As you can tell, these charms are quite simple, and I specifically wanted them to be quite simple and very easy. I do love me an extravagant spell and ritual, but a lot of these folk charms are quite simple and are quite accessible, and also quite hidden and sneaky, and I think that's a wonderful aspect to them. The next one is specifically sneaky and easy and simple, and there's just, you know, you can really hide this well if you're in the closet, for example, if you're a closeted witch, and that is a plant ally. Now, a plant ally, what is that? Well, if you, like me, are an animist, then you believe everything has a spirit, including the previous two charms. But of course we know that plants have a spirit, and so essentially what you're doing is you are creating a bond, a relationship with a specific plant, and that plant is going to be your protective plant. So this is another protective charm. Essentially it's really simple. You get yourself a plant, you befriend the plant, you treat the plant well, you make sure that the plant is well taken care of, and in return it will protect you and give you signs in case someone is trying to send you anything. By trying to send you anything, I mean, for example, someone is sending you the evil eye, or someone is just trying to like get to you spiritually. So the trick here is to really take good care of the plant. It is kind of like a relationship of reciprocity. You give and the plant gives you in return. I like to make sure that my plant is always well taken care of. That way, if the plant suddenly is acting weird, as in like, you know, it's doing well, it's just nice and green and it's looking fresh and like looking great, and then all out of the blue it starts having like a wilting leaf, that's when I know something is wrong and that I have to maybe do some cleansing, maybe some uncrossings, or maybe even a return to sender after I've consulted my tarot cards. So a plant ally is a great one that you can connect with. I also always recommend working with local spirits and spirits that are in your near vicinity, because they're going to care the most about you and they're just more relevant to you and your location. And so having a plant ally is a great one to also start with if you want to start working with spirits. Now, our next one, and this one is going to be a very popular one, you've probably already heard about this if you are at all on the social media witchcraft space, and that is bells. Witches' bells. So bells are an interesting one. They have two functions in the realm of witchcraft and folklore. One, they are cleansing. The sound is very cleansing, so you oftentimes have a bell that you use to cleanse your space, but they also alert us of something. So for example, if you are a shop owner, or if you've ever gone into a shop that have that bell ringing, it alerts the shop owner, oh, there's someone here, I need to come to the desk, for example, right? And so that is kind of the idea with this too. I have witch's bell hanging at my front door, so it is once again doing two things at once. It's alerting me that there's someone coming in. Obviously I'm going to, you know, open the door for someone who wants to like enter, but for whatever reason, for example with my fiance, it just quickly went out and came back in, then I know, ah, he's back. But also it cleanses as soon as someone enters the door, whatever they are bringing in, that bell is going to cleanse that and make sure that that is not being brought into our home. So whenever I'm out and about and I come back home, that jingle is going to just remove any kind of energy and make sure that nothing is being brought in. Now, bells can also obviously signify money and prosperity, so that is why a lot of times they are used in shops. It's kind of like ringing in customers, ringing in fortune, ringing in prosperity. You've got a couple of different associations here, so it's a nice one if you wanted to look at it more that way, of ringing in fortune and making sure that the energy in your home is not stagnant and that there's some movement there. A lot of cultures believe in something like that, where if the energy is stagnant in your home, then your life is going to be stagnant. That is why in Germany, for example, we love lüften, which is opening your windows and just letting in fresh air. You're cleansing that, you're getting rid of that stagnant energy, because that stagnant energy is going to lead to illness and it's going to lead to just unhappiness, and it's just not good for you. So that's a similar concept right there. Now the last one is one that I am actually quite new with as well, and that is the SATOR charm. Now the SATOR charm is an old folklore charm. In Germany specifically, it is considered to be protective of fire. I obviously don't recommend this for like legal reasons. However, if you wanted to have a look more into the SATOR charm, that is a really fascinating one. I'll be popping up some information on the screen here if you want to pause it and read that. I also have some links in the description, of course. But that one is considered good for everything. It's kind of like a general protection charm. So again, protection charm going on here. It's all around general protection, and this one is really nice to just have sitting, or for example in a picture frame that you can hang on your wall. A lot of times you will also have the SATOR charm written on a piece of paper, and then you can fold that and then just take it with you. It also, I believe, was used for warding against witches in the medieval times during the witch hunts. And it is just generally a really simple, easy to do charm that you really only need paper and pen, and that is as simple as it gets, in my opinion. So that one is one that you can try out if you are at all kind of into that more old folk charm, old folklore. Now SATOR is specifically associated folk magic. If you don't know what folk magic is, I actually have a video all about folk magic that I highly recommend. I'm going to leave it in the link and in the description box as well, so have a look at that one next. I will be posting these as how to do them, as a little bit of a mini PDF grimoire, let's say, over on my Patreon, so definitely go head over to my Patreon if you want to have these as PDF files that you can then print and put into your grimoire, for example. They will be free to download for anyone that is on my Patreon already, and of course anyone that is on my Patreon is directly supporting my channel, so thank you very much. And with that being said, thank you everyone for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!